Okay, I wanted to do a video about just how poor the press questions are that they're asking of the pilots in the Nimitz incident. It's as if they forgot how to ask questions. It's just it's so horrible right now. They're not getting to the bottom of anything at all. They're asking like, "Oh, how did you feel during that incident? You know, Did you fear for your safety? Did you fear for your life?" Come on, man. You can ask them any question you can come up with. Can't you come up with a better question? Here's some of what I would ask. I would start out asking the pilots directly. Who made the determination that this craft flying around the Nimitz carrier group, which has hundreds of sailors on it, is not dangerous to any of the boats in the group and is not dangerous to you in the plane? Because they weren't fired on. These things were not fired on at all. The whole story is on the internet, and whether or not that's going to come out through the Tom DeLonge group or not. The Tom DeLonge group releases these tiny videos that show just a fraction. Apparently the group was watching these craft, and there's a bunch of them. There's a fleet of them, whatever that means. Is there 3? Is that a fleet, or is there 20? To me, it sounds more like 20. A fleet of them? What is a fleet of fighters? What is there such a thing, or is it a squadron of fighters? A fleet would be a boat, right? I don't know. I'm not in the Air Force anymore, but I never flew like that. But a fleet to me means at least 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. Who made the determination that these things were not a danger to any part of the military or the U.S. coast? The coast is 100 miles away. Who made that determination? Somebody had to. The pilots don't decide themselves. Who made the determination that we don't shoot them down because they're not a threat at all to anybody in the military, any civilians in California? Who made that determination? That'd be a good question to start us off, wouldn't it? I mean, that would get right to the heart of the matter. Who the hell's the commander? And if the commander didn't order it, who the hell's above him that ordered it? We have to get somewhere, man. These questions are just absolute junk that are coming out from every major news source. I watched ABC, CBS, MSNBC. I watched the New York Times, the article. We need to get deeper, a whole lot deeper. A question might be, if there was an airliner flying around the Nimitz group, say a 747, filled with people or not, if there's an airliner flying around where it shouldn't be, in the middle of a military exercise, would you or would you not shoot that thing down? The answer has to be you would shoot it down. It doesn't respond to the radio, and I don't know if that was implied, if that was guessed. They didn't say, had they tried to contact it? Do they just see so many of these things that they don't even try to contact it anymore? Once they see it doesn't have a transponder, which everything flying in the air is supposed to, right? Except little drones and things. But every major aircraft must have a transponder and must have communication ability to communicate with whoever's trying to tell it, hey, get the hell out of our airspace. Did anybody ask, did you try to contact it on the radio? I didn't see that anywhere. Maybe someone did. That'd be a good question. What is the procedure when you try to contact a craft on the radio, they ignore you, and they are within so many miles, you can just zip out there and rock your wings or something, right? I mean, what is the procedure to do after that? And was it done, or why wasn't it done? I mean, there's so many questions you could drill these guys with. And why aren't the press drilling them? I don't understand. The press are asking questions like, what did the shape resemble? A Tic Tac? It's already been said, man, over and over. Quit asking the same questions. Get to the bottom of something. The press is letting these guys off the hook to just like smooth sailing. You gotta ask the questions that's gonna implicate somebody higher, right? The pilots are not acting on their own. They're acting according to orders. Now, what were the orders? Ask them directly. What were the orders? When you see these things, what do? Shoot video? Put it on YouTube? Tell one of your pilot friends so he can write up a report in his blog? I mean, is that what they do? Is that our defense? Our defense against these things is to videotape them and have somebody write it up on a blog. That's our defense. It's nothing makes sense about this at all. There's already procedures established for what to do. I used to work in the publication library for in the Air Force, and I used to manage that library in the Pacific Air Force's building, headquarters of the Pacific Air Force's building in Honolulu at Hickam Air Force Base, at the PACAF building, we called it, Pacific Air Forces. And I read those regs because they were so fascinating that they were in there. And they're saying now that it's Regulation 200-2, I think it was. I think there's also some more in it. The numbers in my head are sticking like 188-something. I think there's more. And it may be just different weird phenomena that are in those regs and how pilots are supposed to act and what they're supposed to do. But as I remember, those regs were not classified. We had some classified secret regs in there. I had a top secret NATO and Psi clearance, SCI, for another reason, not for the library, but because we destroyed classified information that people brought to our office. We were the administration office for the base for Pacific Air Forces, and for all bases, all classified material, top secret and above, was destroyed there at our facility. So those regs, as far as I remember, I don't think they were a secret. I'm pretty sure they were not secret. Pretty sure, almost positive, because I think that entire library, boy, it's hard to remember, man. It was I'm talking about 1984 to 1988, so this is a while back. But as far as I remember, I don't think I was able to check people for classified, to be able to read classified documents. I think there was another library that was just classified information that was up around the Pacific Air Force Commander's office up there in higher levels than where I was. So there are procedures that are in place to what to do when you see these things. Let's try to get at those procedures, because those mean something. Those mean a lot, really. What are some other questions that we could ask the pilots? Okay, so Dave Sex Fravor, or whatever your name is, you went up, and this is one incident where you saw this craft, these craft. There are many, apparently. How many times did you see the craft over the course of, apparently it was like 2 weeks when they were seeing the craft. I don't know if that's just the battle group, the boats, or if that's everybody, you know. How many times did he see these craft? Was this the only incident? And then he never flew again, you know, to see him again the following day, the following couple of hours? Apparently there were planes going up all the time. So how many times did he see it? And how many of his friends saw them? And what did his friends think of them? Who are his friends that saw them? You know, like, one question would be, where is the radar data from the ships? From one ship, from 10 ships. It has to be on many ships' radar. If there's a military exercise in the water around around the Nimitz, and there's many boats in this exercise, surely they all have their radar turned on. There's not going to be one radar report. There's going to be 10 or 15, however many boats there are. They can coordinate that with the planes that are flying around as well. Was there an AWACS in the air at the time? Seems like there could have been, right? 100 miles off the coast of California, wouldn't have taken that long to get one up. If they were seeing this thing for 2 weeks, wouldn't they put one up in the air above there just to watch what's going on every day? Wouldn't that make sense? There's no like good questions coming out of the press at all. It's kind of like what happened to the UFO researchers like Dolan and Grant Cameron seems to be asking, questions sometimes. Linda Moulton House seems to be asking some good questions sometimes. But really, the whole thing, that the quality of the questions that are asked anymore, whether it's UFO researchers, whether it's media, like national media, the quality just sucks. They're not getting anywhere. I can't remember one time I saw Richard Dolan ask a guy who just told him he was, I don't know if you saw the video. I'm just going to go off on a little tangent here, and then I'm going to end the video real quick. But did you see the video of the old man who said he was in the CIA? He can't even remember like what the CIA bases are called and stuff. He can't even remember the name of the bases. He says them wrong. Now you would think if he was a military, he was a CIA operative for years and years. He retired there, and now he's on his deathbed. Now he's giving like deathbed confession in a hotel room somewhere with Richard. I didn't believe the entire thing. When he started to get names of places wrong, like I don't know what it was. Was it Langley or something? I can't remember what he said. A couple things were wrong, and I was like, what? And he was very vague the whole time. Very vague, like talking about, oh yeah, those things. And no, that's not how they talk. How they talk is like Luis Elizondo. Anyway, so I didn't see Richard Dolan ask him anything like, have you ever been admitted to a hospital for mental issues? Do you take psychotropic medicine? I've never seen him ask people this. I've never seen him say, here's a form I asked everybody to sign off. Before I interviewed them, it says, I've never been in a mental hospital for anything. I've never taken psychotropic meds or anything like that. I've never been admitted to a hospital against my will for something like this. I mean, never. Like, you don't see anything like that. There's no real proof of anything. They just take people at their word, and they're like, oh, that sounds believable enough. Richard used to be like a decent researcher probably in the past for things he was interested in, but over time you start to, like, as Grant Cameron says, go down the rabbit hole, and then you just start to believe everybody's story. I don't expect anybody to believe my story where the ball of light came through the window. I mean, it's bizarre, right? I don't really expect anybody to believe that. Haven't been in a mental hospital, haven't taken psychotropics, haven't been committed to a hospital for any incident ever in my life, haven't been in jail in my whole life. So, but these are kind of things that if you're a researcher, if you're a reporter, you ask the hard questions. That's your job. You don't just go with the flow like everybody at NBC and everything else is just like, what did you feel when you were looking at the craft? Come on, man, get to the heart of it. What did you feel? He felt like he should have felt scared out of his mind. If he didn't, it was because he sees them often or he hears about them often. So everybody's talking about it. The pilot's talking about it like, oh yeah, I was just really interested. The thing could like destroy every boat in the whole exercise. It could blink your plane in like split second. They could send you crashing into the water or just explode you from inside. And you feel interested? See, there's like a. Anyway, this is how I would approach it. I would approach, like, if I was a UFO researcher and I was going to call myself a researcher, I would ask the hard questions. I would have people fill out affidavits saying they've never been in a mental hospital. I would do research to find out in their area. I would ask their friends. I would ask their family. I've never heard of Richard or anybody else doing anything like that. Ask their brother, can you vouch for your brother? Has he ever been in a mental hospital? A lot of times people are going to tell you because, you know, they don't want to perpetuate the myths or whatever that's coming out of the person's mouth. Nobody's doing that. The whole state of research and reporters is like... All right. Hope that helps somebody come to a decision about what's going on here. I certainly haven't come to any because I don't think we're getting the right answers because we're not asking the right questions. I think that the whole state of it is just sickening to me. I don't see where we're going with it at all. It's like everybody's just accepting the status quo and just kind of going along with the interviews, not asking the right questions at all. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you think I'm an idiot, don't call me. I had somebody call me an asshat the other day. You know, if you call me a name or call somebody else a name in the comments, as you know, simple as that is, your comment doesn't get published. I can't remember what exactly the selection is on your comment, but so I have two options whenever somebody leaves a comment where they call somebody a name, like an asshole or whatever it is. One is report spam or abuse, and so it reports you and probably blocks you from my channel, but I'm not sure. So I always use the next one, which is hide this user's comments on this channel. So anybody else seeing the video is not going to see your comment. So that's what it does. It doesn't happen often. I only had a couple of them here now with my UFO channel, which I just started. So, but my other channel where I have like 40 million views, I have so many people blocked, it's unreal. But your comment is not even going to get through. You might write like 6 paragraphs, and if you say someone's an asshole in the middle of it, though there might be some good information there might be something beneficial that the community could use, your comment won't get published because you just called someone an ass. So think about that when you write your comments. I'm all for debate. I'm all for disagreeing with people. Don't call people names. You're not in 4th grade. All right, thanks. Bye.